All right, so let's kick it off. Who are you and what do you do, sir?
Hick Cheramie, and I'm a local actor.
Yes, you are. And you're also a director, right?
I actually
dabbled.
Yeah, I actually got to direct twice. I got to direct a short film for some film people that I've worked with, and then I did a movie recently, and the director is actually in a scene in the movie, a couple scenes in the movie. So I was honored that she asked me to direct. She trusted me with the film, with the money, with that day or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy because I never thought I'd be on that end of the camera, but it's just look, man, there's a lot of, and I'm quoted I think somewhere for saying this. I think they made a video of it, but acting is it's a hustle and it's a grind. When I got behind that camera, like, having that power was a little bit more cooler,
more fulfilling.
But I love acting. I love acting.
Yeah. Would that be something you would like to pursue down the road, a little more directing?
Yeah, man.
Further on in your career?
Yeah, I actually thought about it, and I'm surrounded like by a really big film family.
Yeah.
You know, especially New Orleans, Mississippi. There's different people who actually who work in the industry. And people I've worked with, and we have these great production teams and stuff that I'll get together and sometimes do these big film festivals. And yeah, I thought about it. I'll have the opportunity, and I think when that time comes, I'll know what's going to be right for me and what won't. But I definitely look at it as something that I'd probably do.
But you're just having fun right now doing the acting.
I am, man. I'm having fun. Like I'm an oil field worker.
Yeah.
And not many people get the opportunities that I've been so blessed with. To balance that is pretty hard. But am I having fun? Yes, I'm having fun. I'm having a blast. From where my life was 15 years ago to where y'all wouldn't be talking to me. Right. I'd have done got kicked out this bar. I wouldn't be allowed here, not even for a fucking talk show, I promise you. So, yeah, it's been a blessing, and I'm having that we get this, one life, and
it's almost like a rebirth.
It is. I spent 20-something plus years of it being a blur, so it's kind of cool to soak it all in, and understanding what being humble and grateful for everything is, and so yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I'm having a lot of fun.
It's a really cool story, and I'm really I'm glad you decided to come and sit down and tell us a little bit about it. I know this guy's been knowing you for a long time.
I really missed him.
I know you have. You told me, and we're gonna get into your love affair in a little bit.
I missed him, man. I think it's like I was so happy to see that this was something that y'all were doing, and I was really happy to see that like he was a part of this because Chad has always been a person who had a presence, right? Even I remember as a young child, Chad spoke up for weaker people.
Right.
Chad always made his presence, and to see him doing good with this, like we were talking before we started filming, having, with the community, getting the information out to the community and doing things with the community, like just to see him being so proactive, like makes my heart happy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he always had that.
Pretty cool dude, man.
He's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah. I've been knowing this guy. I luckily have been knowing this guy as far as I can remember having a memory. Honestly, I can remember Christmas parties at the dollar store with Miss Ruby and my Aunt Gail, because they worked there and we were allowed to go there. And it was just so much fun. And Skippy was all, and I'm going to call him Skippy the whole interview. Y'all might know him as Hick. I know him as Little Skippy. Little Skip, actually. So I'm going to call him Little Skip or Skippy because that's how I know him. But man, he was always just wilding and just being like funny, and he always just was a funny, cool little dude, bro. And then he grew up to being this badass dude now that's in films and cutting people's arms off and stuff. So as much as he says, he's proud of what I'm embracing, I'm super proud of him and the way he's taken his life just to a different direction, and just doing all this acting stuff and making his heart happy. And I love seeing you happy.
Thank you, man.
Because you look great happy, brother.
I appreciate it.
So let's get back to the real stuff. The acting. When did it start? What made you say, you know what, man, I want to go out and like pursue this, for one? And then the second part of the question is, what was the first thing you were actually involved in acting?
Oh, I'm glad he brought that up. Bro, Chad just like gives you gold.
I'm so glad he brought it up too.
He just like he hands you stuff because I'm gonna show you.
You brought something for him.
Yeah. I'm gonna show you.
It there.
Chad's an actor too.
Is he really?
Yeah. This is.
Bro, if you got me on this one.
Chad and I's first. This is our first stage production.
Look how cute
that is. That's me.
Right
there.
And where's Chad?
There's Chad.
Oh, look, can we bring this a little closer?
Are we in garbage bags? What are we in here?
No. I'm gonna bring up the California raisins later.
Bro, you can't bring it up. That's my stick, bro.
No, you're not even gonna remember this problem. You will, but you have to see it first.
He's so cute. I'm so glad you brought Chad.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about, like, I get asked a lot in interviews, like, where did you start this?
And you can't tell her with Chad and this, whatever this is.
Let me see this thing. Who I see in here?
When I got to the house, I was like,
we were the presidents, man, right? Weren't we like presidents or something?
I don't know, but they sure did use a lot of cotton on our wigs.
Yeah, bro.
Everybody's got a cotton wig.
Yeah, this was for like Constitution Week,
That's
man.
At least 37 bags of cotton.
No, Skippy right here got the fucking Constitution in his hand. Look at this picture, son. This is the signed Constitution. They got this at Galliano Elementary. We had pool down there.
So my grandmother, bless her heart,
I'm sorry. I hit the mic. That might have
had this
sounded
dial
bad.
from the Dollar General, which was a Confederate uniform. So this is supposed to be the Revolution, and I'm wearing a Confederate uniform as a general.
Hey, that's foreshadowing to now in life when you were the Confederate.
And yeah, so that's what's crazy is like I always get asked that question, and when I got to the house, I told Cameron, I said, let me look through something real quick. Because I know he's in here. Like, I know he's in here. And it was gold. When I found it, I'm like, yeah, this is where I started my acting career.
That's
and
it.
look who's by me.
Golly.
Chad Guidry is by me in my first acting gig.
Actually, I'm in supporting role. I think I won supporting role that year in Galliano Elementary. We young, bro.
Yeah, I want to say that was definitely elementary school.
No,
there was another story that you had brought up because the whole reason you brought this question up because you didn't think he was going to remember.
Man, he got me, bro. Because I wanted him to be like, I was on.
You've been talking about.
I remember a bunch of stuff.
I wanted him to be like, I was on CIS, New Orleans, where I'd be like, bullshit. You dressed up in a garbage bag in about 1988, and I was there with you on stage because the PTC told us. And we were the California Raisins doing this, singing I Heard It Through the Grapevine. And Skippy stole that show. Don't let him lie to you right here.
So look, our parents thought it would be a great idea. We used to go to this basketball camp, right, in Grand Coteau. And like Chad and I, and we had a bunch of friends.
Oh, we had two handfuls of guys that.
And we go out there, right? So our parents are like, we're going to pack them with the garbage bags and the white gloves, and they have a variety night, and they could do. Well, we got at that camp, we're like, we ain't doing that. We only did that because we had to at school, you know? Yeah. But to get back to your question, is I was sitting down having a conversation, and I was asked if there was anything in my life that I was never able to do because of my chemical dependency on alcohol and drugs. Right. And there was a million things that I wanted to do, but I kind of went back to my childhood, and it was something that I always wanted to do. And it was weird, man. It's crazy how the universe works, because 2 weeks later I got a call from a girl I know who does makeup in movies, and she's like, look, they're looking for a homeless person. She's like, it's yeah.
And I'm sorry to cut you up. That tells you where almost you were at. That she's like, Skippy, you look like a perfect homeless person.
Yeah, believe me, Hollywood tells you exactly what they want. They're not. They'll say some offensive shit just to say exactly what they want.
Right.
But she's like, yeah, it's easy. I didn't know what acting was. I didn't know the craft of acting. I didn't know what was what on a set or nothing. And this was back in 2017, maybe 2018. It hasn't been that long. And when I got on set that day, the guy filming was like, man, you look really good on camera. And he's like, you should do this and that. And so I went to these casting companies, and like, I don't know, weeks later, man, NCIS called me up to do like background work.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, let me try this out. So I played a prisoner, and I go out there and I do the job, and I kind of like got an itch for it. I'm like, man, this is really cool.
Right.
So after that, it just led to more kind of like background gigs, and then it turned from like background gigs into like featured roles, to where like you just have more time on camera, right?
Right.
You're more in the front as opposed to.
Right. So still at this point, I in those times, because I did like Queen of the South, I did Claws, I did like all these different. I was working on all these different shows, and I was just soaking everything in. I was like really trying to pay attention to what was going on, like what a DP was, just what this person did, what this person did, what this man and what that man, and I just soaked it up all in. Because after I got sober, man, I never really had picked up a hobby but growing a beard.
Right.
No, seriously, they told me like grow a plant when I got into sobriety. Like you need to learn how to take care of something, and I'm like, I'm not gonna grow a plant. God, I'm gonna start growing some pot and shit. Like I was like, I don't want
I don't want to get off.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna grow my beard out, and so this acting thing was kind of like something to keep that idle time for me, because it's so important that I stay busy.
Right.
And man, I did that for a while, and then I scored a role on Antebellum. And it was a featured reoccurring type role. And while I was on set that day, I was told, it was like, well, like, what you gonna do next? And at the time, like, we were breaking for lunch. I was like, I'm gonna go grab some food and try to cool off. I'm in a Confederate uniform. It's May, and we're in a plantation. It's hot. And he's like, no. He's like, acting, like, I think you need to study the craft of acting. Like, you need to. So that conversation kind of like changed my life, as after that I went and started studying the craft of acting. I got with this really cool acting instructor out in New Orleans, Jim Gleason. He's doing really good on a Disney show right now. He was in Ozark, and he was amazing. And you start working with all these actors, and you start getting all this help. It's such a good community, to where everybody wants to see everybody win.
That's good.
Right.
You support those that support you, type thing.
Well,
and
they all kind of have the same, a little bit of the same story.
Same struggles,
or
what they
wants
went
to
through.
see everybody succeed.
So from there, things kind of changed. I think it was maybe 3 months into me studying the craft of acting, I got my first major supporting role in Obsidian, where I actually played a person that was alive on this earth once. It was a real person, and I spent months talking with his ex-girlfriend in Australia and his friends, and just trying to figure out this guy Nick. His real name was Nick, and I played the character. His name was Mick, and my name was Hick, which was contributed by itself.
That's the universe again.
Just learning everything I can about him, and I did the film, and it was my first like feature film, like long film with speaking roles throughout the whole movie. And I don't know about any of y'all, but do y'all like to hear yourselves or see yourselves on camera? It kind of trips y'all out.
It kind of trips me out.
It trips me out. I don't like to hear myself. I don't like to see myself. Yeah. And I remember when that movie came out, like, I didn't want to see it, and the lead actor called me up, and he's like, dude, you stole the fucking movie. You stole the movie. He's like, you watched it? I'm like, no. He's like, dude, you freaking killed it in this movie. Like, and I'm like, really? And his name's Henry Frost, and he actually did a lot of work with as Matthew McConaughey, stand-in and stuff, and this and that. So that coming from him kind of boosted up my confidence a little bit, and it's kind of crazy, after that, once word gets out on what kind of, not only actor you are, but what kind of human you are.
Right.
Like, your walk is everything in the film industry. Like, you got to be easy to direct. You got to be easy to work with. You got to be, not a pompous asshole.
Right.
And so it goes a lot how you treat people. And after that, man, things just kind of started happening. Money Plane happened, and then I just got written into this comedy series callod Vampire Bud, and where I play this character, Father Hash. And
Father Hash, I saw that.
I play an Amish pod former, and I'm some other things, but I can't give all that away. But and then I did. I just signed on. First I did this movie Sinistry, which was to bring awareness to human and sex trafficking. And you know, I just finished up the reshoots of that movie. We had a really cool budget, private jets and nice bars and just all. I had nice cars and it was really good. It was really cool. And things just kind of happen. You know, you get word of mouth.
Right.
I just signed on with Jeremy London from Mallrats. Like Jeremy London like messaged
cool.
me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's like, hey man, I have a part for you in this. Jeremy London has never seen me. Well, he might have seen me like through people showing him stuff, but never met me in person.
Right.
You know, so it goes a lot with, you know, how you work. Word gets around in the film industry, man. It does. It really does. And, you know, it's an important role. Your walk is everything with that. And, you know, I was just looking at my phone. I filmed that July 19th. You know, I play a biker. You know, and it's a speaking role. And, you know,
He's
it's
the same dude from Party of Five, too, right?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah, Party of Five.
Because they had a girl from not down the by, but Scotty
Lazy
Boy's
Chabert.
cousin and I
Yeah.
was on that
Yeah.
show.
Lazy
Scotty
Chabert,
Boy,
she
you
says
know,
Lazy
he
Chabert.
knows who Scotty Boy is. I'm sorry, man.
But you know, so it's like these doors kind of open up, and you just gotta keep, you know, working hard, man. And there's sometimes like I don't want to do it. You know, you can ask my girlfriend, like I'm just like I don't know if I want to act no more. And look, we're taking a break. Like I always say that. Look, I'm taking a break. And 2 weeks ago I said I'm taking a break. I filmed twice this weekend. I just signed on to another movie. And then I have something really, y'all seen The Call from Atlanta. I got something really big, hopefully, fingers crossed. You know, so it's crazy where the universe kind of takes you, bro. It's a trip, and it puts me in the most crazy situations where I feel the most humble.
Right.
I remember the first time that I got a movie trailer. Like I pulled up the set to the studio, and they're like, "Mr. Cheramie, let me take you to your trailer." Like met me at the car and like took me to my own trailer. And I remember like sitting in that, like I sat in that trailer. I was by myself. I was waiting for like wardrobe and makeup to come, and I remember sitting in that trailer and I was crying. I'm like, for like a moment I didn't deserve, like I didn't feel like I deserved it. I'm like, I don't deserve to be here. Like I was a really bad person.
I'm a kid
like,
from down the bayou, you know.
Nothing. I can't, you know.
Right.
And that kind of changed some things in my life to where, you know what, I do deserve this, and I worked really hard to get here, and you know, so it changed my mindset on what I thought I deserved. And so you have these moments where you know, like I spent 8 hours with Bryan Cranston, like playing his bartender that had dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like and it's a crazy story because I went to set that day because I had a day off. And I was like, I'm not doing background work no more. Like, I'm not doing no more.
Right.
Well, I hadn't done anything in a little while, and I was getting the itch. So I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go and be a background in this bar, play like I'm drinking a beer. I'll see some film people I know. And you know what? I was blessed with some speaking roles. Like, let me go back to where I learned all of this, where it started. Right. Sure enough, dude, I'm on set. I'm standing there. Someone from production comes to me and says, oh, you can act. Come see. Brings me into this bar, right? So I go into this bar. And I don't know what the scene is. Yeah. I don't know
who you working with.
Who I'm working with.
You know lines
I don't know nothing.
Jesus Christ.
So they're like, look, you know, we're gonna get you behind this bar and you know, just look busy. And I'm like, man, nobody's telling me what the scene is. Nobody's telling me what the scene is. So I go and I start fiddling around with stuff. I said, okay, I feel like I'm doing this, and I feel like I'm doing that, or whatever, and that. And I look at the bar. There was like a guy sitting there, two guys sitting there. They had some stickers, names on them, and those are what are stand-ins. So like what they do is they put a stand-in to test the lighting and sound, and then they'll bring the actor in. Well, I didn't pay attention to what was going on. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. So I'm standing there, and I see this production assistant, like, you got money on you? And like, because you don't have prop money, like, give me some money. So I'm sitting there counting and kind of like figuring out like what I'm gonna do in this scene. And when I turn around like this close, is Bryan Cranston sitting across the bar. Yeah. Hi, I'm Bryan. It's nice to meet you. It's like, oh, that's what he said, straight up. Like, hi, I'm Bryan. Like I don't know who that is. And I'm like, hi, I'm Hick. And Hick, he's like, that's an interesting name. And we just started talking. He's one of the most coolest dudes, man. And then he's like, you know what's going on in this scene? I'm like, no, not really. He's like, oh, let's take a break. And he shut it down and said, this is what we're going to do. And they got with me, this is what we're going to do. They gave me dialogue. And cool, you know, I am driving back home to the bayou. And I'm like, I just spent the whole day with Bryan Cranston. Like, I'm going to be on TV with Bryan Cranston on Showtime. Right. exchanging that
Right.
conversation.
Right.
So it
On a
takes you to
series
these-
now that's become like really
yeah,
big.
and
Yeah.
they're begging for another. They're
Another,
begging for
absolutely.
another.
I've seen season 1. It's
So it's
awesome.
like it takes you to these places to where like, man, it just makes me feel so grateful.
Right.
Like, you know, and just, I mean, I'm sure how y'all feel about this show, you know, like that y'all have this opportunity to get out there and put what y'all put out there.
We get to do some cool stuff.
Yeah, we get to
locally
now
and-
serving Walter White a beer.
Yeah,
I
that'd
mean,
be pretty
we ain't got that level yet, but
We
we
didn't
talking
get-
to the bartender, so we're doing something right. You know
So
what
look,
I'm saying?
I was pouring heavy.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to pour.
Yeah, right.
So I poured him one, and then we do a scene. You know, we do a take, and then I pour him, and then we do a take, and he says, "Hey, you didn't pour them kind of heavy." I said, well,
My bad,
I said,
man.
number one, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I said, so I don't know how to pour. I said, number two, you're in New Orleans. Oh, that's true. That's true.
kinda
He
makes
said,
sense.
It's true. It kind of makes sense.
How often you kind of look back at everything that you came through, where you came from, and that kind of drives you to where you're at now? Like it makes you realize like how hard you worked.
It does. It does.
Talk about crying in the trailer. I mean, it's just like
Yeah, it's crazy because reality. If I'd have continued living the way, first of all, I'm surprised that I made it to 36 years old to get sober.
right.
I didn't think I'd make it that far.
Right.
You know, and I like sharing the story because like a lot of people think that they hopeless and they broken and they just because you come from someplace and just because you don't look, man. Let me tell you something. Most of my drive is from my culture.
Right.
How relentless are we as Cajun people?
True.
Right.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was a
Cut
lot
off
of my
Louisiana
drive
to wherever.
to get, you know, in sobriety. Cajun culture was a lot of my reasons for drinking. But it was also a lot of drive to say, look, I need to change my life because I'm not like normal people that can go and have one,
Right.
you know, one for me is 10,000 and you know, it's not enough. Like I won't stop, you know.
Right.
So when I look back at where I am now and where I come from, you know, it's I just call it a big blessing and a miracle because I really don't think I was supposed to be here this long.
Right.
Obviously now the man upstairs had different plans for me, and he continues to show me each day that I have this plan for you and this plan for you and that plan for you. But you know, look, man, and the reality of it is, and I'm sure a lot of people out there can, you know, I come from a fishing community.
Yeah.
I come from a broken home,
Yeah.
where, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate out there. Alcohol, whatever issues were in the family, in the how, you know, like I didn't have a mom for a long time, and you know, so you know when you come from those things, there's something that I think happens to anyone who's experiences that is that, you know, we may go through some turmoil and we may go through some times where we do feel hopeless and broken, but ultimately it's what drives us to be better.
Correct.
And
that's
to
gotta,
be,
right.
that's gotta just make you want to see us how far we can get this.
It does, you know, and what I'm noticing now, you know, in the beginning, I'm like, man, this is great for me. This is great for me. And now I'm noticing, like, as I get older and my kids are getting older, it's like I'm not really working for my first name anymore. I'm
Right.
working for my last name.
Correct.
You know, like, what legacy I'm going to leave them. And I'm not talking about, you know, people talk about, you know, money and like, I just want them to know that they had a good father who worked really hard and did the best
Who
he
loved
could.
them and would
and
do
loved
anything
right?
for 'em,
And
You know,
did something that made them happy,
And,
made
yeah.
him happy. You know,
Making
You know,
them
so-
proud too, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Well,
you know,
I see
so-
it on the, you know, they're very proud of
Yeah,
you.
then so you know they seen me in addiction and they seen me
Right.
as an alcoholic and they see my life now and you know, so the drive I think comes from a lot of different places. You know, it comes from God.
Yeah.
It comes from me wanting to be a better father, wanting to be a better partner, wanting to be a better employee at Danos. You know, like
Yeah.
I still love my job, man.
Yeah.
I love working at Danos. Like
yeah, you still
I
have a regular job.
I still have a really good regular job, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm blessed that the Danoses allow me to pursue what I pursue and to give me the time. I work twice as hard to make sure all the work's done, but you know, to pursue what I'm trying to pursue right now. And honestly, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to pursue right now, bro. I'm kind of taking it day by day. You know, one day I don't have nothing going on, the next day there's,
Probably the best way to do it.
and that's
is
all you can, you know, that's all you can really
let
do.
it ride out
Right.
as easy.
Yeah.
You just put it all, you know, you just pile it up, and at the end you put it together and say, hey, this is what I did,
Yeah.
because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. I mean,
would-
so,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
You got to have fun today.
You probably know that better than anybody.
Absolutely. We all do.
But what would you say be your goal in this acting career? Ultimate goal.
Society looks at actors and they're like fame.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Fame,
You're
like,
in the movies, everybody sees
well, you know, and you hear that a lot, like the culture, you know, like you see it with TikTok and all this, you know, like people want to be famous, right? People want to be famous, and like for me, it's just like I just want to be financially stable.
Yep.
Like that's all. Like I'm not
comfortable.
I just want to be comfortable. I want to be able to help my children out. I want to be able to, you know, enjoy my life and travel and do stuff. And like I'm not looking to be famous. Like it's a big misconception because like there's so many actors out there, man. I know some actors and it's all they do. They're working actors and they work their ass off.
Right.
I'm blessed that I got this other job. I know people like, because you know, acting isn't really consistent. I mean, you have to audition, and you better hope you get that audition. And you know, I got guys who are doing like 8-9 auditions a day, man. A day, like all they doing all day long is they're taking lines and they sides and they're doing an audition, and sending them off, and hopefully somebody buys it. You know, so I don't know if I want that part yet.
Right.
I don't know if I want, you know. I've been back and forth right now with a whole new type agent, and I just don't know if I want to commit to that yet. I'm kind of just, we talked about it earlier, like having fun and seeing what happens next, you know, because you can't sweat all that.
Right. Well, it probably puts you in the best
Live in the
position
moment.
because you have that backup where you don't have to just count on acting.
Yeah.
And you can kind of pick what you want to do, and hopefully something really cool happens. And
yeah, because you know, I've been lucky, you know, this movie Syndustry that I did, the writer, you know, wrote the part for me.
That's awesome.
Like for
With
me.
your
like
intention.
I said, I'm writing it.
Yeah.
And then, you
that's
know, I have
so cool, like such a cool feeling.
the director for Dear Kate and the writer for Dear Kate, right? You know, him and I were talking, and he was discussing about, oh, don't worry, he's like, we're gonna have something for you and Bree, the lead actress in there. They talked about, we had the rap party here in Houma, and he brought it up again. You know, so you know, people, I've been blessed to where people are like, hey man, I wrote this for you. Cedar Creek, the one I just did also, you know, Michael Anglin, who wrote and directed, wrote it just for me. Like this part, he wrote it for me. And it's based off of his real father, who was an alcoholic and an abuser. Yeah. You know, and when I asked him, like, why? He's like, dude, there's no one else that can play this. So when you hear that kind of shit, like, it makes you feel like you're doing the right thing. Right. Like you're doing, you know, you're doing your work, and you
gotta make you feel so humble. Like
it does. It makes you feel really grateful that wow, this person thought about me, to spend hours like creating this character and writing it, and then now like they're giving me the opportunity to sell that character in their movie.
That's awesome.
You know, so
on their budget, on their dime, they believe in you.
They believe in me. You know, the interfere with Jeremy London. I mean, for him to. I tripped out when he messaged me. He's like, he's just like, I think I have a part for. Send me a headshot. Send me. And look, I was at work. I didn't even see his message. He's like, last thing he said was like, send me a headshot.
Yeah.
And I checked my phone, and it says, send me a headshot at this time. And then it says, oh, don't worry, I found one. Like, I just like really missed that message. Like, did I really miss that message? You know, and a couple of days went by, and it was back and forth. And then, you know, I got the. You know, the email of, hey man, you got the part, and
it's awesome.
Production will be in touch with you. We sending over the paperwork, and we doing this, and then they released it publicly, and I'll film that on the 19th now. So it's kind of things just happen, you know.
That's awesome.
It just keeps happening to you, which is a good
thing.
It just
keeps happening, you know.
And you go to work every day, and you know, when you could. So change it up a little bit. The acting's awesome and great. What do you do to a Danos? What is your real job like?
So my real job is we have an integrated services in Amelia, where we have a coatings division, and we have a construction division, and we have a scaffold division, and then we also have a big shipping and receiving division where we handle a lot of like Shell's assets and stuff.
Okay.
And what I do is, my job title is projects logistics administrator, but I do like a million things. I do
hands-on, I'm sure, because
and, you know,
that's how we all are.
That's another blessing. You know, it's like you were talking about having that job as security and still getting to do what I want to do. And it's like you can't ask to work for better people in the Danos. I mean, I grew up with them. You know, they just an amazing family, and they've done so much like for me, man. Because you know, in 2014, I was working for them when I got sober.
Yeah.
And they allow me to go and get better.
Yeah.
And then they allow me to come back and then trust in me in the positions they have me in. And now I sit on the Daniels Foundation committee, their charity committee.
That's awesome.
You know, so I've been blessed. It's crazy, man. You know, when you really start to love yourself enough not to harm yourself, and like I was doing with maybe alcohol and stuff, you know, because, you know, and you start just being a good human.
Right.
Like really good things happen.
Right.
Yeah, and it's
It
got to be
clicks for you.
satisfying to you.
Like
Like, see those things happen for all.
Yeah,
After putting in all the hard work of getting sober and cleaning up and doing that for yourself, it's got to be satisfying to see that all pay off, right? To
Yeah,
have
it is.
people
It is.
trust you.
It is, man. Because you know what?
Good things happen.
There was places I wasn't even allowed to be in.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's crazy. I wouldn't get invited nowhere. I didn't have real friends.
Right.
You know, and it's a trip. You know, it's just humbling, man. You know that.
It's more important than your acting. It's probably the most important thing in your life besides your children.
It completely. What, my sobriety?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like my sobriety comes first.
Right.
Like that's number one.
Right. Because if
Like,
you don't
that's
have
number
that, you
one.
can't be this
I
great
can't be
person
nothing
that-
else.
Right.
I cannot be nothing else. If I drink, like I'll lose everything I have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll lose just everything I have, and you know, more power to the people that can.
Right.
I'm just allergic to the shit. I break
no.
out in
Time
handcuffs.
Time
like
out. Stop saying that. Please listen to me. More power
I
to
choose
somebody
not
like
to.
you. More power, in my opinion, to somebody like you that could say, you know what?
But,
I'm
you
not
know,
going to do this to make myself a better
yeah,
person.
and I have that choice, and you know, I'm glad it's not part of my life anymore.
Right.
Yep.
Because I just don't think I would be where I am or have what I have, like at all. You know, so
And it's good to come to that realization.
yeah, it is, man. You know, I think that you in life, you know, we want to do great things, right? You know, and then they teach you that. They're like, you know, you're gonna go to college and you need to do great things, and that's fine. But like, you know, in school they don't teach you how to like love yourself.
Right.
You know, they don't teach you how to have compassion.
It don't always work out. You got to go to college and
No,
succeed.
it don't. So we gotta, you know, look, I was going to college. I'm sure at one point he was going to college. You know, and it's not just college. I'm just saying this. You know, we never know where this universe takes us. We don't know what the plan is. It's like and what I like to do is like I get up and I go through my day, and then I look at how I can be better tomorrow. And then the next day I just try to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea.
You know, and it's like that's all I can do. That's all we can do as humans.
Yep.
I mean, we could beat ourselves over, but every night, bro, I gotta forgive myself and I gotta recommit in the morning, every day, and that's how it has to be. Oh, the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Where did you get these masks?
Well, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
Funny you should ask that.
So the cool part about being back there in season 2 is we had a big old table, so a lot of people started giving us gifts and shit. So we were able to display their gifts on the table, and 2 of those things were these badass Luchero, which is, say my boys, masked. It's the Mexican wrestlers, which is a big thing in the Mexican culture. And I know that because Dan and Antonio, my boys, came over here and they gifted us these masks. They were actually in Papacheo in their little cubby hole they had with like their nice shit and all, and they brought it to us and they gave it to us. Also, you could appreciate this, being a former service guy, South Louisiana Veterans Outreach.
Oh, cool.
We
interviewed those guys. They're freaking cool. They're going to be giving away 31 guns in August on a raffle that I bought a ticket to. So if you didn't buy a ticket, go buy one quick. And then the other one's Gator Coolers right there. That was
those guys came out.
He proclaimed to be the only normal person we had so far on the. I'm the only regular person y'all have had on here, he said. So he was cool too. We got a lot more in the back. We need to bring it out. Maybe Skip gets that big role that he got called on earlier. Maybe
get like an autograph.
We could get that poster autograph, bro. We could have it.
Yeah, we get a little
You know.
Hick Cheramie autograph, and we can bring it out here.
Right.
You know, when
He
if
could
you're
do an
famous.
authentic one though. He could put Skippy on it.
Yeah,
It would be something different than his regular signature. You know?
So
You love that
I do,
IMDb.
man. It's really cool. It's like I've met a famous person. Sorry. I like
He's been
movies.
hanging
fucking
out
love you,
downtown
man.
all weekend trying to find Witherspoon.
Yeah.
All week long.
All
He's
week
been
long
on
I've
set.
been
They've been telling him
looking
to get out and all. He's been like, you
love
with the
movies, man. It's
binoculars.
pretty
Move
cool.
out the shot.
It's really cool that you're doing that. What's your favorite project so far?
Like my favorite project to work on as far as experience with like a seasoned actor would be Young Honor with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
My favorite project to work on where like I had a lead role would have been Sindustry,
Okay.
which is where I played a human trafficker.
Right. Look like a badass.
Yeah, I'm such a horrible person. And you know, so I guess I have favorites for everything. There's like one for which I was so lucky to film here in Houma, Dear Kate, with Brandon and his wife and him and his team are amazing. So like, we filmed at some bar here. I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was like an amazing crew, an amazing cast to work with. Like I had a blast that day. You know, so it I guess it all depends. It's everything has been a favorite of mine. Right. You know, so
the whole experience.
yeah, that's the whole experience, and you have different experiences with different movies and different projects and different. You know, I did a music video for this band, and it was cold. It was so cold, but and everything was done outside, and you kind of like, you know, like the craziest experience I ever had is I got to set on episode 2 of Vampire Bud. And they're like, okay, you ready for your lessons? And I'm like, what lessons? And they're like, well, you're going to learn to steer a mule today in the wagon. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, you Amish, so like you got to whatever. And I'm like, okay. And then I remember like we took it down the road and this man's guiding us. We almost flipped the thing over. And I don't know if you ever rode on 2 wheels on a wooden cart. That's some scary shit, dude. Because the wheels are wooden and you hear every creak in it. And the actor in the back seat, this really talented, he started out as a stunt guy and he's an actor now, and he writes too, John Esperanza. He was in the back and he was freaking out, and then the creator of Vampire Bud was sitting on the side of me in the front, Zach Jones, and he's freaking out and I'm freaking out because I'm holding the mule. So the music video, so that was really interesting for me to learn that, and believe it or not, that's something that's gonna go in my acting resume, is that I can steer. You ever film westerns? You know, I did a really cool western in October, I think it was, called Tales of the Natchez Trace. It was always a dream of mine to do it. So that was like with Travis Mills, who's a brilliant director and writes some brilliant westerns. You have these different experiences with different movies. The music video, I had to learn.
Can I ask you something real quick too? Who directed you on the Neil Small engine cutting that grass commercial? Because that was definitely bad to the bone.
Okay,
brother.
so one of my greatest pieces of work, by the way,
Right.
and you know, I was pretty lucky to do a commercial that aired like it does, because a lot of actors they are constantly doing print work or commercial work, and I kind of got that on my own, man. They reached out to me and they were like, look, you know, we doing this, and are you interested? And they took care of me, and when we got on set, it was some venture that they had with. Does it air on ABC? Is WGNO, right?
Man, it airs on a bunch. I didn't see it.
So anyway, they had some contract or promotional thing to where like they came and film, and I remember like asking the videographer who was filming behind the camera, and they had some other person there. I forgot his title, and so they telling me what they wanted, and so I started doing what they wanted. And finally, like after the second take, he's like, "Look, I'm just gonna quit directing you. Like, just do what you
grass, brother.
Just do what you do and say how you want to say it and whatever." And they went with it, man. And next thing you know, it was playing. And I remember somebody called me up and like, bro, I'm watching American Idol and you cutting the grass. I'm like, what?
Is that going in your resume too? That you know how to cut the grass?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get a free lawnmower? Let's talk about
No, I didn't get a free lawnmower.
Dude, you didn't get a zero turn?
I know, I didn't get a zero turn. I know, I didn't get a zero turn. But
Neil, you need to come off that zero turn.
that was a fun day. You know, number one, I got to shoot it on the bayou.
Yeah.
On the bayou.
Yeah. Jump by you.
We got it in the fruit stand.
But you know, so I got to like be in my hometown, do something I love doing, and then do
yeah.
it for a business in the community.
Right.
You know, so like that meant the world to me in itself. Was like just doing something local and with a local business and a good business at that.
The people you know too, man.
And
you know
people
these cats,
and
bro.
people I know, and for them to reach out to me and ask me to do it, you know, so it was a fun experience to do the lawnmower commercial. I love it. My girlfriend actually took it and did a great masterpiece of it. I'm going to get her to show y'all after. She took it and she chopped it up and like chopper style, chop it up.
Chopper style.
I'm gonna let her show y'all what she did with it, and then I remember when she did it. But yeah, man, it's cool. My kids they fuck with me about it. Yeah,
I like that, bro.
a little more commercial, but so you have all these different experiences, and you work with all these different people, and it's hard to pinpoint a favorite. I'd say moment is sharing the screen with Bryan Cranston.
That's pretty
Cool.
In a moment, you know, as a
Really
moment, you know, because he's such a brilliant performer, and he's just he's a really cool person in person.
Yeah.
So, you talked about your sobriety, and also, what is your typical Louisiana Saturday night? Because most people it involves like alcohol and getting like shit faced, you know, not to be silly or whatever, but you know, a lot of our guests that we ask that to is like, man, I get fucking hammered, we eat crawfish and all. So what do you like to do like on a Saturday night?
Well, when I'm not in a hotel room and having to film the next day, my girlfriend and I have these air mattress dates. It's not like you think. And she's never watched The Sopranos. And wait, so I'm experiencing something new too, because I've watched The Sopranos multiple times.
Okay.
But I never watched The Sopranos, number one, sober, and number two, as an actor. And James Gandolfini, I'm sorry, that was one brilliant
That dude,
fucking actor, man. Like, I'm paying it now. I know what I'm looking at, and I'm paying attention to the whole thing.
Right.
But that's what we do, man. My life is pretty, and I enjoy it like this. I'm an introvert, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I know that.
I was like back there when I came meet y'all backstage at the tent. Like there was no way I could stay alone. There's too many people, and I like to stay home. We like to cook. Spend time with my kids. We have a big projector, and we do like these big projector nights in my house and
awesome.
watch movies, and that's fun to me. And you know, my life has slowed down a lot.
That's good.
A whole lot. I'm like an old man now, but and that's about it, man. Just living like every night is a Saturday night for me.
Right.
That's awesome.
I go to bed early. I wake up early.
Did you see the? You said Sopranos. Did you see the trailer for the movie? The Sopranos prequel that the son's doing?
Yes, man. I cannot wait. I've been looking at the cast. They got some really talented people in there.
So good.
So I'm excited.
I'm a Sopranos fan too.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. It's crazy how film can have this effect on you. I bought a whole box of cannolis last night. I did. I bought a whole
Drop the gun, take the cannolis.
I bought a whole box of cannolis last night because I've been binge watching the Sopranos, and I'm like, I'm gonna get these cannolis, and like we're gonna eat these cannolis. And she woke up. There was one left this morning because I get up at night and eat everything.
I did the same thing. We've been watching Sopranos a while back, and spaghetti and.
Yeah, we did pasta the other night. So yeah, that's. We pretty
So
much
it's safe
stick
to say it's changed over the past couple
yeah,
years.
Yeah, man.
25 years ago when we graduated high school, a Saturday night on an air mattress would have been a pretty wild time back then. It wasn't watching The Sopranos, eating cannolis.
No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't. I can't have those Saturday nights anymore because like I have plans for Christmas and shit. And yeah, my daughter's gonna get married one day. I want to be there for that, you know, and not locked up. But
right.
Yeah, it's toned down a bit, you know,
and that's a good thing.
I like the quiet. I like my privacy. I like the peace because, like, you know me on a personal level, you know, and people see what they want to see and they think what they want to think, and you know, I'm just really an introverted guy who gets social anxiety a lot, and I can't drink to deal with it. So like, I just stay as long as I can, and when I'm done, I'm going to hang out and watch I'm going to watch The Sopranos, or I'm a big ID Discovery fan. You know, like that. Love ID Discovery.
I like that. Me too. Food. We talked about cooking and stuff. What about favorite Cajun dish?
Favorite Cajun dish? Oh, that's hard. Gumbo, man. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I guess now I'm thinking about a coubillon, and he got the damn turtle stew in my head now. So now I have the all beef for a turtle stew.
You talking about speckled trout eggs back there?
Yeah, he showed me the speckled trout egg tacos. No matter how much acid I could have took back in the day, I would have never came up with the idea to make some speckled trout egg tacos.
All right. Hey.
Like, bro, it's for real. Like, that's creative. Like,
there's some things.
Like, you need your own cooking show.
There's some things that are more coon-ass than a coon-ass can handle sometimes.
yeah. Like, when you went all the way, bro. I mean, like, but
that's like next level.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Yeah, I'd have to say like. Man, I don't know. It's hard. A gumbo, like a
good
something that
sausage gumbo.
Yeah, that and a seafood gumbo and
you like
okra and shrimp.
This is very controversial on this show, but you like potato salad in your gumbo or outside?
In.
Oh man,
that dude's from Bayou
No, I didn't forget where I came from.
Oh, I hear you.
No, from that good Bayou. All right, here's another one.
He said from that good Bayou. What he had to say.
Good Bayou. Look, I'm
working Galahad every day, and they just keep.
He works with T. Lawrence.
Yeah.
Plays
every day, yeah. He hears all about the Bayou all day long.
My instructor right next to me.
I don't even say erosion no more, but now like I want to go and buy one just to say one for you.
So,
I'm telling you said hello. I told him I was coming tonight.
If you were lucky enough, fortunate enough.
That's it. Here in Grizz, y'all got the good Bayou, we got the good earth, he said. He's talking about his bourbon.
How do you sleep at night?
Yeah, whatever makes you feel better.
Makes you sleep better. For bed.
So, if you were fortunate enough to be granted to have lunch Friday with anyone dead or alive, who would you want to have lunch with?
My father.
Great answer.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Big Skip.
Skip.
One more time. Let's have lunch. Call Cody.
No.
No? We're not getting that wild.
I have to pay for him. No, actually, bro, I've been slacking. He gets all this. He gets all this amazing fish, and I went to his house today. Take some amberjack, and I forgot. He's always got good stuff to give me, and I never go get it. So it's my bad. But yeah, my brother.
He loves to shoot fish
spearfish.
under the water.
Yeah, spearfish.
Yeah.
That's his
awesome.
name.
That's a good answer. I would have the same answer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure most people would pick like some great person in history, but I think my father was great enough in history for me, you know?
Absolutely. Awesome dude, bro. Back to tradition. Pedro, do you play follow suit or cutthroat?
I don't play Pedro.
I didn't think he played Pedro. I really thought he did, and he spent a lot of times at Nichols.
So
he
look,
spent times at Nichols too, and he does not know how to play Pedro.
I take enough of a gamble when I get out of bed in the morning. I've never played Pedro. I've never been drawn to Pedro.
What? Okay, I got a question that just popped in my head since you don't play Pedro. Make sure I play Pedro either. Living in South Louisiana, grew up here, everything, and you travel all over, right?
Yeah, I've been around.
What have you noticed that just you can't get anywhere else but here?
Oh man, hospitality. I mean, I've been to some really nice places,
right?
But no one makes you feel like at home like
right.
the people from our people in our culture. for, you know, when it comes to just feeding you, man.
That's the first thing everybody
You know,
does.
I've been,
Hey, you want to eat?
yeah, I've been, you know, I've found myself in houses in Seattle and in the Hollywood Hills and the Appalachian Mountains and Texas, Miami, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Which Puerto Rico is a very hospitable place. I mean, the people that I knew there took real good care of me, but there's no place like this.
Cajuns are one of a kind, bro.
Anywhere I've ever been,
Agreed.
there's no culture like this. There's no place like this, and
You ever get it to where you go somewhere and not even talk? Because I know the speech gets it away from most of us, but you ever been somewhere and you just like do something or, you know, whatever, and you go, man, like, you must be from the South or you must be from Louisiana or something, you know? Like, that's happened
really,
multiple times. Like, you know, I don't know, cook something or you
Skippy
be nice to somebody
He
or
just opens his
something.
mouth and they like, you from a bayou, boy.
I've already had the craziest.
Three.
Three. The Bobby number 3. The craziest story, and you know this guy. I was in an airport in Phoenix, and I had a layover, and I was traveling in the terminal to get on the plane, and I'm talking, and there's this guy in front of me, and he turns around to me, and he says, "You got to be from Cutoff."
Jeez.
And he didn't sound like he was from Cutoff. He
Yeah.
sounded like he was from the West Coast. I'm like, Cutoff? I said, dude, yes. Like, how did you guess that? He says, I'm Dirt Dago's roommate in Oakland.
Really?
Get out. What are the chances of me and you on the same plane?
Kirk's brother.
Yep. It was Dirt's roommate in Oakland, and he turned around and he asked.
And he knew
I was
he
from
could
Cutoff.
tell.
Bro, that blew my mind. That blew my. Imagine just
Small world,
being in
right?
Phoenix,
Yeah.
walking into
Right.
a terminal, and a dude turn around and say, "You from Cutoff," and him not sound like it.
Right.
Yeah,
Blows you away.
yeah. I'm like, how you?
There
how
it
you
is.
do
That's
that?
what gives it away, man.
So it's yeah,
It's
that was a
Southern
crazy
accent,
story.
boy.
That's it. It's
I
how
would
you
trade it
talk.
for the world.
It's either how you talk or if you walk outside of a bar with a beer in your hand.
When I lived in the mountains, I used to have to get stopped at the door a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you need to come back in there with that. Where you going? Outside? Where? I gotta go pee. No, you're not doing. What are you talking about? Bring the beer in here and keep that in your pants. Like, what?
Don't do that.
I didn't know, man. I didn't.
Texas, they don't like that shit at all.
And what's bad is like they would tell me that, but then man, once I started drinking, I forget.
Yeah.
I just kept wanting to go outside, you know.
Right.
Thought they would tie me to the bar at
Pee
one point.
outside,
You
bro.
would stop somewhere and get a dagger.
Yeah. They trip out over that.
Well, I ain't got nothing else. You do?
I mean, we could talk for hours
I
here
mean,
upon hours,
it's
but
like one of the coolest conversations I had in a long time. Really
yeah,
appreciate you.
super
You
duper
coming
thankful,
out, man.
bro, for you coming out and sitting between
Thank
the
you for having
barrels,
me, man.
my
It's-
brother.
I've done a lot of them, and this is pretty laid back, and it was pretty. I feel like at home here,
that's
you know.
what
So
That's what we try for.
oh, y'all nailed it. Yeah, y'all nailed it.
That's what
We
we shoot
appreciate
for,
it, brother.
man. We're just a bunch of, we're 2 couillons or 4, 5, 6 couillons that just like to have fun, man. That's it.
Yep,
I
give us
appreciate it.
a,
I'm humbled and honored, man. Thank y'all for having me.
I really
appreciate
you
it,
can put
brother.
this on your portfolio or whatever. I did
Anytime
think
you're ready to
that.
sit between the barrels, we would love to have you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And we out.
That's a wrap.